So perhaps the most important property that polymers exhibit is the glass transition temperature, or TG. So the glass transition temperature effectively describes when a polymer or when a material transitions from basically rubbery or glassy. So, and actually, it's technically defined as the temperature at which, what is it? It's about 30. Excuse me. You have 10 to 30 monomer units start to move cooperatively or collectively. And you can think of it as a competition. So, for example, we have two parameters. So, when I am rubbery versus when I am glassy. So, if I'm rubbery, I have two competing factors my intermolecular interactions and KT, thermal energy. When I'm glassy, obviously my intermolecular interactions are much, much stronger or greater than KT, so they're frozen in place. But here, my epsilon ij is much, much less than KT. So I have more thermal energy, so they're able to break those intermolecular interactions and just basically start to move in or be able to kind of move cooperatively. So those, cooperative molecular motion of 10 to 30 connected, monomer chain units. Now, we can effectively guess or estimate that TG parameter, that glass transition temperature, based on chain interactions, three parameters. Chain interactions, which is probably one of the most important, are there intermolecular interactions between monomers? So, do we see amide units, which would indicate hydrogen bonding? Do we see O's, nitrogens, chlorines, fluorines, electronegative molecules that would indicate dipole-dipole interactions? Do we see within our backbone these big double bonded, or even in the basically on the side chains, these large bulky molecules that would indicate steric interactions? So big bulky interactions that move past each other. Are there only van der Waals interactions? We need to investigate this phenomenon. We also need to see how easy is it to rotate around my chain bonds, or the main around my backbone. A polymer that just has single carbon-carbon bonds will have some degree of flexibility as long as it doesn't have a super long side chain. But if I have a molecule that looks like this, and then C double bond to O, and then another big bulky one, that's going to be difficult to rotate around. And finally, the amount of free volume, again, how densely those monomers pack, looking at the side chains, those are all kind of critical parameters. So we can look at, and actually we can see, I'm going to pull up our, we'll actually pull up our lecture notes on Canvas for a second just to see this, because it's very important. Canvas. I was looking at mathematicians previously. So let's look at Canvas. Let's look at our 330 lecture notes. Let's look at files. Let's look at polymers. Excellent. So let's go ahead. We'll actually look at our slides here. Let's look at, actually I'm going to download this. We can look at it together. So if we look at this polymer structure, we can see some of these glass transition temperatures, and we can actually observe here, look at polyethylene. This has a glass transition temperature of minus 80. So why? So 1, interactions. We really only have van der Waals interactions. 2, ease of rotation. Single bonds, very easy to rotate. And then 3, we don't have long side chains, easy, like lots of free volume available to us. They pack somewhat densely. But we see it's a very, very low TG because our epsilon ij is going to be very, very, very low. So it'll be easy for KT of even minus 80 to break this. But one of the cool things is, look at PVC. The exact same chemical structure, but we just change a chlorine. And look at that. Almost 160-degree change. Why is that? Because we have this interaction now of chlorine. Very, very, very electronegative. It's bulkier, it's larger, it's going to be harder to rotate. Similarly to polystyrene. Steric interaction. This side chain will make it more difficult for it to rotate because it's going to continue for all the other monomers as well. So it's hard to rotate around here. Nitrogen. You've made it, again, more difficult to rotate. Look at polycarbonate. Very large, bulky molecules along the backbone, so hard to rotate. Oxygens, polar interactions. Methyl groups, which are also going to be difficult to rotate. So these are all things to be on the lookout. Look at nylon. Hydrogen bonds, right? So even though this backbone is all single bonds, it's pretty easy to rotate. Just because we have those hydrogen bonding structures, very, very difficult now. Same thing here. We have that aromatic double bonded carbon ring here. Very difficult to rotate around my backbone. So it's going to make it difficult for me to, difficult for us to rotate, therefore higher TG, and then that's what we got. Fantastic. Discard. So next time, we're going to look at how we are going to analyze polymeric materials, and we will see you then with XRD and DSC. So have a good one. Bye.